Have you ever heard that beat, especially now with what's going on in the Middle East? You hear about Israel being God's chosen people, right? Have you ever heard that before all of that was breaking out in the Middle East? So when God talks about the Israelites, he's talking about these 12 tribes, or the 12 sons of Israel.
That's right.
Because Israel was a man before it was that land.
Bring it up.
You understand? So the 12 sons, one of which is Manasseh, would be your great grandfather,
Right.
your forefather, right? These men, this man, Israel, was given a law to live by, right? Watch this. This is one of those laws.
But the numbers, chapter 1, and verse 18, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month.
So the congregation would be these 12 men and all their children, great-grandchildren, and so on, right? So they will all come together and they will assemble according to what? Read?
And they declared their pedigree.
Their pedigree would be, what you know what the word pedigree is? What is it? What do you think it means? You hear pedigree. He's of a golden pedigree.
Right.
What does that mean? Okay, it means you're from a lineage or a bloodline.
Right.
Or you descend from something. Right? Now, read it again.
And
Come on, read it again.
and they did, and
Come on.
the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigree.
They declared their bloodlines or which of the fathers they came from. Read.
After their families,
After their families, come on,
by the house of their fathers.
by the house of their fathers. So if your father is so-called Cuban because the conquistadors gave that land the name Cuba, right? So he would in turn be a Cuban, right? Or Panamanian, right? Right, that's your mother, I assume. Your mother's Panamanian?
Yeah.
Okay, so then again, her father, if her father's Panamanian, that would make her Panamanian.
Right.
But that would make her from the tribe of Zebulon. Okay?
Yeah.
So we're showing our people these things because we grew up in the church. Somewhat.
Yeah.
Well, you were forced to go to church at some, especially around this time, right?
Yeah, my grandmother was Jehovah's Witness.
Okay. These things that we learn in the churches, Jehovah's Witness, Seventh-day Adventists, Pentecostal, those are man-made religions. Although they use the Bible. The Bible that they're using, or at least what they're teaching out of the Bible, isn't our history. It definitely isn't the heritage that our ancestors gave to us. That's why they still celebrate things like Christmas in the Christian church. Maybe not so much in the Jehovah's Witness, but they have their own ways around how they celebrate those man-made holidays. So what we're showing our people is, according to the Bible, give me Sirach, go to Sirach 24 and 23. According to the Bible, we being the people of the Bible, we have our own set of laws. We have our own traditions that God gave us. But we've been so far removed because we've either been brought here as slaves to America or conquistadors came to those places and burned Christianity into our souls. You understand? So we were forced to become Jehovah's Witness, Pentecostal, Catholic. We were forced to be those things because of the slavery and because of the colonialism. You understand? That was done to our ancestors. But God never gave us those things. So now in these last days, God showing his power is by putting it on men who used to do these same things, letting them go into the Bible, change their lives, and teach it to other brothers like you. To show you, this is who you are, not this. Alright, watch this. I know you want to go jam, but I need you to hear this because this is way more important to your life than anything else you can think of right now. Watch this.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 23, chapter 24, verse 23. All these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High God.
So this covenant or this Bible was given to our ancestors, and they were ordered, they were commanded to teach it to their children.
Right.
And they teach it to their children and so on and so on. But because the divide happens when this happens. Right. That's when it stops. When we went into slavery, when we went into colonialism, when we suffered at the hands of the conquistadors, suffered at the hands of the slave masters, those things ended. It stopped. Because we broke God's commandments before this happened. Right? So even still today, we're still breaking God's commandments because the same people that taught us like this, right, taught us Christianity and forced it on our people, teach us you don't have to keep God's laws no more. And what does that do for us? It keeps us thinking, okay, because there's no other person on the planet trying to show us, no, this is who you are. You ever watch The Lion King? Not the, what is that called? I'm talking the cartoon. Do you remember when Mufasa was in the clouds after he died? What did he say to his son?
I don't remember, but I know what was said.
Right. He said, remember. That's what this Bible is saying. Right now. Remember that you're from the tribe of Manasseh, not a Cuban Panamanian. Remember that you are a child of God, not an American citizen. Remember who you are. You're above all people on the face of the earth. All these things I'm telling you comes out of the Bible. But we've been disconnected from this heritage because we've been given Rolling Loud. We've been given Christmas. We've been given Thanksgiving. So when we start to look at ourselves and think, well, there's a lot going on in our neighborhoods, especially when it comes to the plight of our people. Look what's happening in Cuba. Shut the power down in that place for a while. If it's not still rolling blackouts going on, why? Because their mentality or their politics don't align with America. But don't those people have human rights? Right? Regardless of how America thinks about what they should be doing. God says we're not even supposed to be worried about that stuff because we're supposed to be keeping God's commandments. We're supposed to be living according to the heritage He gave us out of the book of the covenant. Read on.
Even the law which Moses commanded for inheritance.
So the law that God gave us, like today, is the Sabbath day, right? The last day of the week, the seventh day of the week. We're not supposed to be working, buying, or selling. We're not supposed to be doing this. Let's say if this was to commemorate all the things that God has done for us. We're still not supposed to be buying water and buying snacks and all of that kind. We're supposed to prepare for that stuff before the Sabbath, right? And then if that was dedicated to worshiping God on His day for His people, then so be it. It's not. What it does, it actually shows you the opposition this entire world has of God. Against God. Because when are they doing it? You got to pay to go in there, right? Today, right? So you're breaking God's commandments to break God's commandment. You're adding sin on sin, and then the music that's being portrayed is more music about adultery, murder, right? Drug dealing, sorcery, idolatry. All of that happens to add sin on sin and do what? Separate you further and further and further away from God and your true heritage. Read that one more time.
The book of Result, chapter 24, verse 23.
Come on.
All these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High God.
From Genesis to Revelation, even the books they took out. They took 14 books out of the Bible, right? Because they understood that that's a part of the Bible that our people would remember. And not only that, they would remember people like Malcolm X, people like Dessalines Louverture from Haiti. They will remember people like Nat Turner. They will remember people like that, who the people in the Bible gave them inspiration. They will remember about the Judas Maccabees and his family who fought against the same people who run this place. The same white people who run this place are the same people our ancestors fought against to keep us free from oppression. They had to take that out. They had to take that history out. So to give you a docile Bible, a good, wholesome, white Bible, pure. Understand? But it's all a lie. That's why I say those things that we grew up learning, we have to come to the realization it's not the heritage God gave us. Watch this, read on.
even the law which Moses commanded for inheritance.
Jeremiah 17:4. So when we come out and we show our people, we try to show our people to connect them 2024 with things that were written thousands of years ago to our ancestors to bridge the gap. Matter of fact, hold that, hold what you got. Go to Malachi chapter 4 and give me verse 4. Because even the Bible says that at some point you're going to have to remember. Because it's going to come a time with this place where we know, but we've never seen war. Or maybe tell me, man, maybe I don't know, right? There's a few years I lived in Jamaica, so I don't know. Has there ever been, as long as this place has been ruling, has there ever been another nation set foot as an invading nation or an invading army? Or has war ever come here? Never, right? Well, guess what? The Bible says there's a time called Armageddon that's going to happen. Do you understand that Armageddon is not just happening somewhere else, but it's going to happen here? And what we know of this place right now and how good we got it here, it's not going to be the same. Do you watch the news by chance? That's a problem. You know why? Because they give you things like this, Netflix, the Hulu, as distractions to keep you away from the news. And when they do show you news, it's compartmentalized. You know what I mean, right? It's only that tunnel vision they give you. And only what they're giving you is to make you feel like, damn, every time I turn on the news, it's something negative. It's always bad news. To hell with the news. I'm gonna go watch something on Netflix. Right? I'm gonna go Netflix and chill with my girl. Right? I'm gonna do something that's positive, that's uplifting, that makes me feel happy and good. But what you're not getting is, news is just like gossip. Bring it out. But again, if somebody controls all the news, right, then that means, okay, there has to be some alternative to what they're trying to show you all the time. There is alternative, right? Go through, you got YouTube, they got Rumble now, they got all sorts of different things. And now, I understand there's a lot of misinformation, right? But you have to understand everything that we're saying is happening right now in the world. It's happening because God's people are being prepared to be delivered. Bring it out. So all of this has to go before we can be delivered. And we can have a kingdom for ourselves. You work? You work? Okay, so you shouldn't have to. You know why? All the resources throughout Cuba, all the resources throughout all the Caribbean, Central, South, and North America belongs to you. Everything on the planet belongs to you and your people. Because God has chosen your people to rule this earth according to God's laws. That's why we have to remember who we are, come back to what we're supposed to do. Watch what the Bible says, Malachi chapter 4 and verse 4. Watch this. Malachi chapter 4, verse 4. Remember ye. Wait. Repeat that again. Remember. What? Remember. You gotta watch that movie after today, bro. Watch it again, and I'm trying to tell you what you're seeing in that movie, how young baby Simba, right, goes through a journey in his life. He gets completely lost from who he really is to being something completely different. So now coming back into his rightful place. That's the story of Israel. That's our story. We're in a point right now where we've been taken away from who we're supposed to be. Completely. So God says to do what? Remember. Simba, remember, read the law of Moses. So that's the way we start. How? We got to keep the Sabbath day holy. We're not supposed to be buying and selling. 2 minutes. Come on. Come on.
My servant which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all Israel.
Read.
With the statutes and judgment.
Come on.
Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet.
So Elijah the prophet will come first, right? Elijah would be like Rafiki in the movie, a little monkey with the stick. That would be Elijah. To come hit you across the head with, remember who you are. Come on.
I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
That's Armageddon. That's World War III. That's nuclear war. All those things would happen because the children of Israel, watch this, were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. This is what I want to know. We were scattered in the transatlantic Middle Passage slave trade and the sub-Saharan East to Japan, China. All the nations of the earth have had our people in slavery. All of them. So God says in order for him to go back and redeem his people, the first thing they got to do is they got to remember who they are.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom. What is the nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity.